Mr. Moderator, thank you, and through you to your body. Members may recall in prior town meeting that appropriated for the purposes of a new high school building was funds for a feasibility study. Over the past year, high school building committee has been appointed, has been hard at work, and has gone through a series of steps. The first of which was to appoint an owner's project manager, which we did several months back, and we've hit, I think, what you would call in the business. I think what you would call in the business that we're doing is the next big milestone, which is the selection of an architect, which we have gone through the process of and accomplished last week. So, and I do want to be brief, so I'm going to talk quickly. What we thought we would do, and with the moderator's permission, is come before you and give you a brief update where we are, give you a cast out of the next 6 months or so, perhaps even year. You can see a timeline on the slide behind me about where we're going to go over the next 12 months, and also introduce to you the members of the building committee, which you'll see up there in the left-hand corner. If you have any questions, comments, there will be plenty of opportunity for input, which you'll hear about in the coming months. But this is, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, a grand kickoff for us before the body that started it all with the appropriation of the feasibility funds. So with that, if I can pass off to Superintendent Rizzi.
Good evening, everyone. As Mr. Recupero said, the school building committee has been meeting. We will be meeting at 5:30 on Thursday, this coming. Do you know where that is? Oh. Okay, never mind. That meeting has been canceled. But the meetings are regular and are posted and are open meetings, and everyone is welcome to come. And they are also broadcast on SMAC for those folks who might be interested but are not able to come. So we have hired an owner's project manager, and this is a requirement of doing a project with the MSBA. It was an excellent process. We had 4 very competitive firms to choose from, and we selected Compass, and 2 gentlemen from that firm are here this evening to talk with you briefly. So I'd like to introduce Tim Bonfatti, who is the leader of our owner's project manager corporation.
Thank you, Dr. Rizzi. I want to introduce Dom Taberi, who is the project manager that will be working with me on the project. For those of you who haven't worked with an owner's project manager in the past, our job is to represent the town during the whole process, from the start of design through construction. So our job is to make sure the project stays on track, both budget, schedule, scope, that the program that the school department needs to have a fully functioning high school is implemented, and then during construction to make sure that the quality, that the highest quality standards that the town expects are implemented. So our role is as your representative in these projects. Our other big part of it, aside from keeping the project on track, is to manage the Mass School Building Authority process, which they will be contributing a large amount to the project, and obviously as a financier, they want to have a say in the process. So everything we do along this process is done in conjunction with the Mass School Building Authority. There are 2 other critical members of the team. One is the architect, who I is going to say a few words in a second. The next will be the construction manager or general contractor. We haven't decided exactly which way we're going to go with this project, and they obviously haven't been hired yet. But amongst the 3 of us, what we want to make sure is that we deliver a first-rate project, and that's our goal starting out, and that'll be our goal when we come back to report on the success of that in 3 years. So I'm going to introduce Kyle Franceschi from the design firm of DRA, who was just selected last week for the project.
Thanks, Tim. We're very excited to be back in Stoughton. DRA worked on the townwide facilities assessment about 5 years ago, and I remember appearing before this august body back then, and we're very excited to be back on this project for the high school and working with your wonderfully hardworking building committee, the strong project management team that's in place, and we're going to be spending a great deal of time early on exploring a lot of options. We come with no preconceptions. We're going to spend, as I say, a concerted amount of time getting input from yourselves, from the school department, from the school committee, and others. You'll please keep your eye out for some workshops that'll be advertised where we'll be seeking input from a broad variety of folks in town. And ultimately, our goal during this feasibility study schematic design is to develop the most educationally appropriate and fiscally responsible solution for Stoughton. So thanks for having us.
So I'm going to very quickly walk you through the timeline that the project will bring us to the next town meeting and the vote for authority that is required under the process. So as I mentioned, we've hired the architect. The next deadline we have is in September, after going through the summer, both investigating the multiple options as well as developing the educational plan that the school department is looking for the high school. This report that we submit in September is called the Preliminary Design Report, so it does lay out the educational plan. It would lay out how the building would respond, or any building would respond to that educational plan, and it will list the options. So we will know however many that is, and typically it's many options we would be looking at. We need to inform the MSBA of that in September. The next big deadline is called the Preferred Schematic Report in December. We issue that to the MSBA. That is, as it says, as the name says, basically the preferred solution for the school. So through the course of the fall, we'll be looking at narrowing those options through a process, a very deliberative, analytical, and fact-based process to get to the preferred solution for the school, which will be packaged into a report to the MSBA. As you can see, the MSBA board, the red circle or oval is the MSBA board vote in January. That's the first of 2 votes that they take in relation to the project. And that vote is an approval of the preferred schematic that is submitted in December. Through the course of the winter and into the spring, the architect will be working with us in the school department on completing roughly about 25% of the design. It's called the schematic design phase. And that results, ultimately that gets estimated, and we put a total project budget together. And that project is the project scope and budget report, which is submitted in April to the MSBA. That lays out the cost of the project. It details the amount of MSBA reimbursement, so the net cost to the town. It has a schedule, and obviously with 25% of the design, it lays out the scope of the project. That report is worked on by the MSBA staff and is voted on in May of 2016 at the MSBA board meeting in May. So when you look at May and June of next year, a year from today, that is when we would expect to come back to this town meeting and present the report and present the preferred schematic, as well as all the financial and the deal, if you will, with the MSBA. And seeking your approval here at town meeting, we would then be ready to go for the debt exclusion, which is required under this process. What we would be looking at is a time frame right now, sometime in early June. So that's the schedule we've laid out. It's an aggressive schedule, but it's one that we are very confident that we can achieve. And we're very much looking forward to working with the community. As Carl mentioned, there are going to be numerous times for the community to hear about the project, numerous times to participate and let your feelings be known about what you want to see in the project. And that's going to start with the community forum, actually June 6th. So we're looking forward to it. And with that, I'll turn it back to TJ.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you also to the moderator and to the members for your patience. Really don't want to hold up town meeting anymore, but we thought that this was an important step in what will be, as you see, a very aggressive next year for the high school building project. And thank you again.